Hi, my name's Kim Tyra from Galafrey Wines. I'm the winemaker here. I'd like to thank you all for coming tonight and enjoying our wines. And you know, it's an interesting day. Today, normally if I was doing a video like this, I'd go outside in the vineyard, but of course it's raining, so which isn't ideal because next week we're meant to be picking. So yeah, we're starting vintage next week. We're going to pick our Chardonnay, which is looking great, and our Muller, which is even looking better. I believe the Muller Thurgau is one of the wines you're having tonight. Muller Thurgau was originally engineered by Dr. Muller from the Thurgau region. It's one of the most grown grapes in Germany. And not very many people grow and make it in Australia, especially now. So we're one of the few, and we've been doing it for 40 odd years. We like the Muller. It sits wonderfully in amongst our brand. It's a hybrid of Riesling, but in a lot of ways it's nothing like Riesling, because Riesling is all about acidity and Muller has very little acidity, or at least half the acidity. So for us in the vineyard, it's really important that you pick it at the right time. If you don't pick it at the right time and let it hang out there, and basically the acidity just drops really quickly, and then it turns into this bland, boring, really very uninteresting wine. So you've really got to pick it at the right time in the right window. So we're pretty excited next week that it's going to come off. You're having 2017 tonight, which was a great year because actually our 17 whites was a high acidity sort of year, so I think that extra acidity in the Muller for the 2017 makes it one of the better vintages to actually have. So I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you find it really interesting, because it is an alternate grape variety these days, especially in Australia anyway. So and I think it goes really well with a lot of different foods. You know, it tends to be quite, it's a very subtle tropical fruit, sort of like papaya, guava, orange peel, a little bit of fruit blossom there, has a little bit of a textural palate to it, some nice sort of oiliness and a bit of chalkiness from the phenolics, which is nice as well, and that makes it go really well with food, especially anything with a bit of spice. One of the few wines that can handle a bit of spicy food, which I think is a nice alternative, because people sometimes tend to choose sweet wines for spicy food, but you don't have to do that all the time, especially when you've got a Muller Thurgau on hand. Alright, so one of the other Rieslings we have is our Riesling, which is what we are most well known for. Probably in 2012 we made the decision to really work hard and to not only be a great Riesling producer, but to be one of the greatest in Australia. That's our goal, and we work really hard towards that. I agonise over the Riesling every vintage, because I want to make, you know, the best Riesling I can. I think Riesling is very much about, for me, purity and clarity, and just the elegance as well. I think some Riesling acidities can be quite bracing, so it's really about trying to make it that more elegant style so that you have a really classy wine. The Riesling down here has a lot more of sort of lemon characteristics, very fruit blossom again, and just that balance between that nice cleansing acidity and the purity of fruit. And for us, really, Riesling, the work's done in the vineyard, that meaning that when it comes into the winery, I really don't have to play around with it too much. You know, we make very little additions, which shows that, you know, it was picked at the right time and everything, all the work's really done in the vineyard, which is just so important. And we're very proud of our Riesling, and I really do think we have one of the best Rieslings in Australia, and that's pretty much me for the next 30 years, is to keep doing that. Anyway, so moving on, we also have our Pinot Noir. So, Pinot, we are one of the first people in Western Australia to grow Pinot Noir, or plant it. So that's, you know, an achievement in itself. For us, it's very much a small batch range. I don't have a lot of it. And so what we do is we do all the right things. It's very hands-on. In some ways, it's an ironic wine, because I do so little and yet I do so much. So basically with the Pinot Noir, we hand pick it, we bring it into the winery, we give a light press, and we just whole bunch ferment it, and we leave it on extra days on skins to get that really maximum flavour and maximum colour and a bit more body to it. And then we basket press it. So it's one of the only wines here that we basket press it. It's one of the only wines we probably do hand picking and whole bunch fermentation with as well, which I think you need to for Pinot really. It just really suits that style, really suits that style of winemaking. So we do give it a little basket press, put it in some lovely sort of French oak that has some nice perfumey characteristics. We just leave it alone, let it do its thing, and then when it's ready we bring it out, and I do very little to it. I just do a slight rack and a little filtration to it, which is very minimal in the world of winemaking, and then just put it into bottle. So it's very expressive in terms of purity of fruit. So it's kind of funny because, yeah, like I said, it's very hands-on, like you're constantly working at it, but at the same time, you're kind of really not doing a lot to it. So it's an ironic wine. But I love it, and I think it's a great wine. It's very popular. It is very traditional, that sort of black cherry, nice dry tannins. It's light but complex, and it's just a great wine, a really great food wine. I'm currently actually working on our 2017 in the winery. I'm hoping to bottle that next week, as well as vintage, you know, just to be busy. But yeah, we're doing the Pinot next week, so it's currently just sitting there, and I'm just waiting on Monday. I'm going to do a rack and filtration and hopefully bottle it on Tuesday. So, and I can just tell you, it's looking good. So anyway, and then we have our Cabernet Sauvignon. So a very classic Cab Sav in the winery. We are a dry grown vineyard, so we don't irrigate at all, which is really important for things like colour, tannins, flavour, because the berries are small and you have a lot of contact with all the skins, and the seeds have a lot of surface contact area with the juice. So that's why it's a really intense, it's a really beautiful classic cab. I mean, we're in a cool climate area, but we can really ripen it up being dry grown because we don't overcrop and we don't have too much foliage, so it gets plenty of sun and nice wind to dry it out naturally in the sun. So, you know, and then we bring it in, and we're looking for those really nice blackcurrant, cassis sort of traditional cigar box, very drying tannins. We do put it on traditional French oak, which is very classic and very structured sort of style, and it's a great one for aging. We can definitely age up to 16 plus years with our Cab Sav, which always looks good in the cellar. And it's probably my favourite wine. I love Cabernet. You really can't go past a good classic Cab, which I think this one is, and I think it's quite underestimated for its value and its